Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, we'll be going through the Port Adelaide Hawthorn GWS Brisbane matchups in the semi-final of the AFL season, and going through my tips for that, as well as reviewing those tips, as well as going through and tipping the prelim finals games. This will probably be a short video as well, a little bit shorter than the even the last one, as there's only 2 games to review. As well as only tip 2 games, so it should be a little bit shorter than the other one. But anyway, let's just jump into it here. As you see here, Port Adelaide against Hawthorn, I was top 18% for going 0 of 2, and currently ranked 156k out of about 900, give or take. So I'm probably in the top 20 or so percent, give or take a little bit there. But yeah, so I tipped this. I tipped Hawthorn by 17, and I was 20 points off, and I still got top 18% for going 0 and 2 and having a margin of 20, which just shows how much Hawthorn were favoured in this game, as well as GWS, and that collapse there. But yeah, so I did not expect this. I did not expect Port Adelaide to come out with such. I mean, I should have probably expected it because it was Ken Hinkley as well. But then again, I tried to apply the Ken Hinkley effect in finals, and then forgetting. But then again, they've not really won. I don't think they've won a finals in like a couple years now. So it's quite a hard one to judge as well. Especially because they're always like inside the 4, and they always seem to be the double victim. Or I don't think they've won a game away from. I don't know, etc. But they rarely win. It seems like in finals. But yeah, Hawthorn, it was probably a stretch too far. I think Kinnivan probably gave a little bit more motivation to the Port boys with those comments. I think also just playing for Ken Hinkley's job as well. I think that definitely give them a little bit of a rev up needed. Plus also being at home instead of on the road, it was a little bit easier. Obviously being the getting the double chance, you get that second game at home, no matter where you were placed in the top 4. If you lose week 1. So yeah, Port getting that double chance at home was probably the massive difference. I know if Port aren't a Melbourne side, but if this is at the MCG, I don't see them any way, shape or form, even if they're an MCG tenant, them beating Hawthorn at the MCG. So yeah, that home ground advantage of being at the Adelaide Oval was absolutely huge for them. It is an interesting one, just looking, and I will just bring up the AFL lineups. There we go. Let me just bring up the lineups for week 3 there for you guys. But yeah, Port Adelaide came out on top. I thought that they're, as well as I probably should just go through this game a little bit to burn a little bit of time here, because it's going to be a short video. But yeah, just looking through this. You can see the match report here. Jordan Sweet, thought he was absolutely huge with 52 hit-outs, 5 tackles. Connor Rozee ended up, he was all right. It didn't feel like he was that damaging though. Jace Burgoyne, he was absolutely huge off the half-back flank. Given that he's usually, I think, on the wing, and for him to float back there in place of Ryan Burton, and also, Kane Farrell was already out. So they didn't have basically any distributors, and play that distributing role. Thought he was absolutely huge there. Ollie Wines was pretty huge for Port as well. And then Logan Evans had a really good game as well. Willie Riola did his job. And then you'll see down here as well, Georgiades 3 goals too. He was absolutely huge, and he's going to be their live wire, I think, in the prelim against the Swans. And for the Hawks, I thought Jai Newcomb, 31 disposals, 24 handballs, a little bit handball happy, 6 tackles as well. Lloyd Meek, I thought, put up a decent fight against Sweet, but I think these two have been the surprise 2 rucks of the year. And then I thought Scrimshaw was probably almost their best on ground, to be honest with you. And Sicily missed a couple of crucial shots at the end where he almost was celebrating on both of them because he thought he'd got them through. And then we get to the GWS meltdown. That was effectively the biggest meltdown, I think, in finals history, because you look back on the biggest comebacks, and the other one was a 47-point quarter-time break loss. For Carlton against, they were winning against Geelong, but the reason for that was there was a massive gale to one side, and by halftime that game, Geelong were already up. So it just probably shows you that was more win-related than it was to actually see a comeback, and especially so early on in the game, whereas this one happened 20 minutes into the third quarter when Geelong just fell apart. They started to play kick mark defensive footy, and when the team just gets a run on, it can really just Brisbane just dominated from there on out, and then we'll just quickly go to the stats for that game there, and I think you'll find that Ashcroft as well as Danaher absolutely starred for them. Let's just quickly look at it. So you can see Kieran Briggs with 55 hit-outs, 6 tackles, much to the similar thing that Sweet did. He pretty much did the same thing. Tom Green had 33 and a goal as well as 5 tackles. He was amazing. McInerney here, 1 goal, 38 hit-outs. He was pretty good as well. 4 marks, 4 tackles. Himmelberg had a pretty good game, but yeah, as you see, Ashcroft, 27 touches, 2 behinds, I think 9 clearances, and I think 10 score involvements. Yeah, 10 score involvements, which was outside of Archie, game high. Well, I shouldn't say it was game high, but it was the second highest in the game. And then you'll find, Jesse Hogan kicked 5 as well, but then got shut down in the last quarter. He was just unmatchable, basically in the first 3, it felt like. Dane Zorko as well had a pretty poor first half, but then he got out of that sort of logjam that he was in. I think he was given more of a defensive matchup, or they put a more attacking player on him, and he was made to be more defensive, and it just didn't work. So we pushed up the ground a little bit more. 2 goals for him. Joe Danaher, you can see 4 goals there, and that's why they came back in the end. Let's just look at the trend here. You can just see that 44 points, 20 minutes in, and then, it finally got broken down. And they were within, as you see here, the Dane Zorko goal. And then Jesse Hogan and Xavier Halloran, and you think at 3/4 time being up 25, you think, they should be fine there. But then it just went, and then they even got back up to 98 to 30 to 67. And you thought 31 points deep into or midway through or it would be 30 points midway through the quarter, 9 minutes into the quarter when Charlie Cameron kicked the goal. But 30 points with basically about 15 minutes to go. And then, Charlie Cameron kicked a goal, then there was a little bit of a break, and then Dane Zorko kicked a goal, and you just thought, maybe, just maybe, that brought it back down to under 20. And then Jasper Fletcher kicked a goal, a rush behind, then a goal to Joe Danaher, and you probably knew at this point that it was going to happen. As you see here, I've just hidden all of it here, but you can see that there. And then the Joe Danaher goal after a mark against Sam Taylor, which is, he dominated Sam Taylor in that last quarter, and that was kind of crazy. Then we get to the prelim finals tipping, and you see here Sydney against Port. This is going to be an absolute hell of a game. If you look at the past matchups for them, don't need to explain it there. If you look at the past matchups, you'll see Sydney have lost 8 straight to Port Adelaide. But then again, as people have stated, they lost 3 straight finals games to GWS, and they went over that hoodoo in 2012, I want to say, or 2011. I think it might have been 2012. They beat Collingwood in, 2012 AFL Finals. Let's look at this. Google will give me this as well. You can see in the final series, I believe, Collingwood won that. Sydney, I think this was the first time in about 12 years that they'd Sydney defeat Collingwood for the first time since round 13, 2005. That was 7 years and 11 game losing streak. And I believe that was that involved the Jeddah running through at Allianz for about an 80-metre goal. But you can see that records are meant to be broken in the end. And Sydney last time at the SCG would have probably won the game if they hadn't had both McCartans concussed in the first half or so, given that both McCartans played a combined 35% time on ground. Paddy McCartan 2% and Tommy McCartan 33 or something to that regard. I think that it's more. I think Sydney are very, very. They've been close. That record should have probably been broken as well if Callum Mills could have protected the line. Ollie Florent could have kicked it through from 40 out. So I think there are so many different factors that almost led Sydney to win against Port Adelaide last year, and I think it's even more so the case this year. Given this at the SCG, Port had a really tough game against Hawthorn that came down to the wire, the emotions there. So I think Sydney have the edge in this one. So I'm going to go Sydney in this game, and I'm going to go Sydney by, I think 16 points is a margin that I think Sydney can win this one by. I think that it'll be a tight game. I wouldn't be surprised if Port are ahead at quarter time, but I think they might just run out of steam in the last quarter. Then you go to this game here, Brisbane against Geelong, and this one's an interesting one because sometimes you see a team come from the absolute depth of it from the like Western Bulldogs in 2016. We don't need to talk about that anymore. But you see teams from that 5 to 8 bracket come through almost or provide a really close game, or provide almost or almost get through the grand final or win it in Western Bulldogs' case. But I just think Geelong will probably win this game. I think that they'll prevail in this one. I think that they will beat Brisbane, and I'm going to say they'll win by 15 points in this one. But anyway, that is the video. They're going through the tipping from last week, which I went 0 for 2, but didn't actually do the worst, as well as going through and tipping for the prelim finals. If you did enjoy the video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on, and I guess I will see you guys I'll probably do them on Sunday, because I have something on the recording slot, that I usually do on the Saturday, so I'll probably see you guys on Sunday for all the more game reviews for round 4, which will include the Richmond-Carlton game. You'll have another couple of games as well there. But anyway, I'll see you guys in those videos, and yeah, see you guys. Bye.